As you may already know, Judge Angela Stokes was recently suspended from the practice of law for her alleged tyrants and misconduct on the bench. The issue is not that she was reprimanded for her uncouth behavior, but for the fact that I am certain she is not the only judge who serves on the Cuyahoga County Court of Common Pleas or any other court that deserves to be reproved. I want to know why her behavior in particular was called to attention. And yet, those individuals who declared her unfit to sit on the bench turned the other cheek when it came time to persecute others who habitually exhibit the same or similar behavior as Judge Stokes and yet goes unnoticed. Let us not be blind to the fact that the judicial system is one of the most perfectly flawed institutions. Its obligation to society is often demoralized by the pre-existence of a judge's character, their personal beliefs and biases that often undercuts fairness. It is reprehensible that a small percentage of judges and their egos gets in the way of equality and smears the images of those judges who continue to adamantly strive for impartiality, protect the decorum of the courtroom, and the dignity of all its participants, regardless of their position. Unfortunately, Judge Stokes does not stand alone in this category. Other judges such as David Mattia, Shirley Strickland-Sappho, Nancy Russo, and Kathleen Satula have been under fire for their courtroom antics. However, we cannot criticize them for their opinion, nor can we become soft on serving justice. This is especially true for those defendants whose behavior warrants recourse, but to everything there is a limit, and with everything there is a consequence. If a judge's behavior is so vile as to diminish the majesty of the bench, then I would not expect anything other than for those judges to be investigated and or removed from their practice of law. Some would say that Judge Stokes was used as a general deterrent to discourage others in her position from abusing their power. Others would opine that Judge Stokes did nothing that another judge hasn't done, and would also use this opportunity to play the race card, as first, she is African American, and second, she is a female in a predominantly male occupation. In all instances, I beg to be pardoned. None of the above arguments would diminish the fact that Judge Stokes should have known better. We cannot continue to excuse those in power for their misconduct out of fear or ignorance of the law. A solution to this very substance of feeling inadequate is education and unity. We often don't seek to know or understand the law until we are faced with trouble. How will we know our rights when we don't seek the answers? Is it the fear of the law or the individuals that are behind the law? Is it more important that we come together or come together with a remedy for what we are up against? In other words, we can't come to the table empty-handed. We must come with a solution. A judge's power is on the bench, and our power is in the election, and we don't utilize that power enough. If we want to preserve the infrastructure of our legal system, we must seek to understand the foundation of which it was built. We do that by researching the individual that we are voting for, investigating their past performance, the number of convictions, and where they stand on issues that affect you as an individual and as a member of society. Perhaps the suspension of Judge Stokes is an indication that our citizens and public officials are rebuilding the infrastructure of our legal system from the inside out. Whatever the case, I salute the people who finally stood up and said, enough is enough. Our lives do matter. Whether in support or against my opinion, it's time to talk about it. If you have questions or would like to comment on this editorial, please go to letstalkcast@gmail.com. Your opinion matters, and thank you for listening to the show.